Greetings, salutations, and hallucinations. Oh, steamed offenders, back again with vaping with Uncle JoeJoe. As promised, the vape cave has been opened up. I did have one narrow little corner. Now I have the whole room. This done by throwing away a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot of stuff. And of course you can see the lady's SIF back here. Yeah, you have to name your weapons. My little AR. Took her and the other ladies out. Did some shooting this weekend. Between that and my 40 cals, I dropped about 1,000 rounds of ammunition. All the casings collected for reloading purposes, but hey, we had an absolute blast. Took me and my big brother and son-in-law, and of course his son-in-law, which is his youngest daughter, and her kids were out there. His wife was out there. You know, my girl was out there with me. She didn't shoot, which surprised me. I was kind of hoping she would, but hey, it's kind of hard to find a woman who's really enthusiastic about firearms, apparently. Ooh, who knows? Once mine, a little tiny little ding there. Very tiny, but a ding. Hey, what the heck? Small things. Who cares? In the end, we all had an absolute blast. Those of you who have never fired a weapon, you really need to do it. Go to a shooting range. Most of them now will actually rent you a weapon. You can grab a pistol, buy some ammo, go to the range, have a good time. It's a blast, literally, and that's a pun intended, of course. But now that we've done the showing off and the ladies have all been cleaned and put away, well, she's about to be put away here in just a little bit. She goes back in the vault. But for right now, she's sitting up there nice and clean and all spiffy. All right. As promised, we have the UD Technology Goliath 2. Going to undo an unboxing. She's been used for roughly about a month. Completely cleaned it, put it all back in the box so I can do the unboxing and show you what you're actually going to get. All that good stuff, and we'll get down to the pros and cons and all that good stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like the new vape cave. God, I'm loving it. It's nice to have some room not bouncing off the wall every time I stand up, so it's really nice. A lot more room, and of course more videos to come. Last week I had an abscess tooth. I'm still swelling here. Got put on antibiotics, spent my whole entire Thanksgiving sick as hell. The only thing I ate for Thanksgiving dinner was some noodles. Yay me, my life rocks. But you know, life goes on. It's all over with now. Everything's about done. I just gotta get that sucker pulled and we'll be done with it. When you get to be my age, folks, this kind of crap happens. Alright, we'll talk to y'all in just a second. And we're back. Okay. We're now going to unbox the UD. Now this one's been used for roughly about a month. I've cleaned it up, put it back in the box. It's probably going to my big brother. He's got one and really likes it. This isn't, don't take that as a con, just not a tank for me. Now, we're going to pull her out. So she's been cleaned up and reboxed. The first thing that got me when I opened this box up was this little boy here. A spare tank. Considering the fact that I just broke a tank on one of my billows and had to order a replacement, and they're about $5 a pop, which kind of ticked me off, but hey, you gotta have a tank. Just how it is. Now this usually also comes with a coil here. I also have this is the RDA deck. As you can tell, I've got a couple of, those are 28 gauge N80 twisteds in there. 5 reps per side, roughly about 2 ohms, 0.2 ohms. Airflow is a little bit better on this because you can position your coils and wicking better here than you can with the stock coils. Your RDA deck generally is going to be better because you can actually fiddle with it and get it exactly the way you want it. Now you get this goodie bag. Now as you can notice, I've got a red gasket here and a blue gasket on top. Now when it comes, you get this big old goodie bag here, which I love. It comes with these, which are clear gaskets, which are the ones that are actually installed, so it's ready to go. Now I do recommend any time you get an Addy, don't care what it is, dripper, tank, whatever, take it completely apart. I mean every screw out of it, out of your deck here, those 2 screws, you know, everything. Pull every pin and thing you can completely apart and soak that sucker in either vodka or isopropyl. Now, me personally, a recovering alcoholic, I don't drink. I don't have any alcohol in my house. I use 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I give them about a good 4 hours soaking, and then hose them off with hot water really good, and then put them on a drying rack and let them dry. That way you make sure to get all the solvents off, little shavings, fingers. I mean, you don't know what this thing has been through. It could have been, the tank you get looks beautiful, might have been dropped, rolled up under a bench, got pooped on by a rat, and dry humped by a cockroach. You don't know. So it's a good idea to clean these suckers before you put something in there that you're going to inhale. You know what I'm saying? After all, you go buy plates at the store, you're going to eat off of them right away? Nope, you're going to wash them if you got any sense. Just my 2 cents. Now, with this, you're going to get, with the clear, as I said, 2 clear gaskets installed in the tank. You're going to get 2 reds and 2 blues. So you can do what I did, go 1 red, 1 blue, however you want to do it. Entirely up to you. Personalized, baby. Now, of course, you get a whole bunch of little replacement gaskets in there, plus some replacement screws, which is really good. Give them a little thumbs up on that one. I love it when a company puts in some goodies like this, because they don't have to do it, folks. Let's be honest. They don't have to put any of this in there. So that's just a little extra something for us. And this generally will come, when you get it, it's going to be inside the tank like this, and you're going to have 2 coils here. One's going to be, if I remember correctly, one's going to be a 0.5 ohm, and the other is the 0.2 ohm. And here are your coils here. This was a 5-pack, as you can see, it's used. These are the 0.2 ohm coils, just standard. As you can tell, they are sleeper coils. And of course, they also make the 0.5. And here, and you can look at this one, how tight those coils are. These are the temperature controlled 0.15 ohm, and they work really well. All right, let's pull this puppy apart here. First off, your drip tip. The one I got with it is a hybrid, which means you got a Delrin plastic base, and the stainless steel snaps on top of that. Helps keep it cool. I really like that. Let's move things over here a wee bit. Throw that in there. Now we'll take this puppy. Now to fill it, what you're going to do is just unscrew it. One thing about it is, generally it is kind of hard to unscrew this base from here. And herein lies the problem with this. I'm not sure what Yudi was thinking on this, y'all forgot. If you think on the Goliath 1, you have that nice little knurling ring, which knurling is that little extended ring, and it's got some little lines in it to give you a better grip. That's called knurling, and what that does, it literally gives you a better grip. This doesn't. Smooth stainless steel. So the problem is, when you're unscrewing it, trying to take your tank off of the, just, so you can fill it, what gets to be real fun is you can't hold this piece here because it tends to be real slick, and you wind up having to unscrew it part of the way up so you can get a grip on it, just so you can unscrew it. If they put some knurling on there, a knurling ring here and another one, say, right along the top here, that would help out a lot. Little hint there. Now, I'll set this right here for the moment. And of course, here's your coil, and it screws right into the base. And of course, your drip deck will you can take it, screw it right back in there, and boom, you now have a rebuildable tank. And here is your coil. Now, here is the first con you're going to run into with this tank. When you look at this, look at that. Let me move this over here. Boom, look at that. Huge looking problem. That's actually what you get. It's that little bitty hole down through there. It's not really that bad at first, but what's going to happen is, and this cotton, of course, when cotton gets wet, it expands, and it's going to close that hole off rather quickly. And sometimes what you'll wind up doing is you'll notice you're getting really restricted. You'll take like a 1mm screwdriver and run it down in there and kind of move it back and forth and poke that cotton back into place. I really think they need to redesign these coils. And of course, as I said, they are sleeper coils. And of course, before you use it, make sure to take your juice and soak the coil really well. What you do is get up here. The way I do it is a little patience. Is just keep putting your juice up here. Don't gush it down in there. You'll wind up pouring out here and making a mess. So just keep it flowing a little bit down. Of course, you can put a little bit down in there. Just don't get carried away. And when these sides here start changing color, you've pretty much got the coil saturated. It's got a little, this is basically a little thin Delrin plastic case around it, so you can have something to hold on to while you're screwing it in. Keeps things in shape. Now, as you notice, we do have their juice control, the juice controls. The beautiful part of this is when you go to unscrew the tank, you're turning it this way, so as you can see, it automatically will close it for you. Just unscrew it and take it off. When you screw it down to put the tank back on, it'll go down far enough, and eventually, when it starts to bottom out, it'll catch and it'll open something for you, so you don't have to worry about these. But you can go ahead and close them before you put them on. That way you can just go upside down and it doesn't leak a drop. I love that. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit you with a con right off the bat. If you could look down the side here, you can see the chimney, then it bells out for the deck, where it covers the deck. That gap between that chimney, between the chimney bell and this outer casing is very, very narrow. And the problem is with thicker juices, the juice, when you start pouring it in here, will actually fill this narrow siding up faster than it can escape into the tank, and it'll actually overflow this hole. It'll overflow out of both, and you'll actually make a mess. I've done it quite a few times. This happens usually with your thicker juices, like an 80-20 for instance. That's really narrow, and it's that thick viscous juice. It's just going to clog that. It's going to fill that up, and it's going to fill that up faster than it can escape into the tank, and again, it's going to come up and it's going to make a mess. So if you notice it doing that, just back off, slow down a little bit, maybe tilt it back and forth like this to break that juice and get it to go ahead and flow. Then you can go ahead and fill it up. My 60-40s I generally didn't have much problem with, but 60-40 is really, really thin to begin with. So it tends to just flow right on in. Now we'll take it apart here right quick. Very simple to do. Now this is, basically it's just pressure fitted over this gasket. You can pop it off real easy. It's not like the old Atlantis tanks where you had to fight with it. It's just pressure fitted over that. It's very easy to pop off. I'm not going to bother, but it's very easy. You don't have to worry about breaking your glass. You have a one-piece chimney. This is not a two-piece. It's a single one-piece. You have a little gasket right here to help with your leakage. And as you can see, it does have what looks to be a lot of airflow, and it would. Again, your bottleneck is your coils. This, of course, is a two-piece. This is two-piece. And that's how your juice control works. You'll notice right here, that is your capture pin, and there's your capture slide. It rides in there. And that allows it to only travel so far either way. All the way open or all the way closed. As far as putting it back together, you just take this, turn it a little bit until it pops in. Now it's locked in place. Hold it with that finger. Boom, just like that. Extremely simple. I do prefer the new top flow designs like the UL Crown and the TFV4. I love the TFV4's top. It's fun. I will say it's the first smoke product I've ever tried that I've actually liked. Can't stand their electronics, but their tanks generally tend to be pretty good. Tanks are fairly easy though, comparatively speaking. Now you just take that. Once you've filled it, boom, you're done. Now of course you got your ring. It only goes no more of that pop off ring bit. This is actually on there. It does not come off. There's a capture pin here, so you can only go so far. There's all the way closed, and there's all the way open. Again, these are big slots, and you got a big hole. And again, the problem is you've got a little bitty coil. All right, now that we've had an actual look at the tank itself, these are my thoughts on this tank. If you're looking for a tank that's going to compete with, say, the UL Crown or the TFV4, this is not the tank. It's not going to compete with them very well at all because of the restriction of airflow with the coil design. Also, if you're looking for a tank that'll punch up 100, 150 watts, again, this is not your tank. What this tank is for, and as a perfect example is my big brother who just bought one himself. He is a mouth to lung. He doesn't do straight to lung hits. He likes it the same way he used to smoke cigarettes, which is mouth to lung. So a big, huge airflow tank like the TFV4 or the Crown, again, just not for him. Just too much airflow. You don't get a lot of taste when you're doing mouth to lung when you got a lot of airflow. So this tank is perfect, really, for him. Also, for those of you out there who are looking for a tank that flawlessly runs at, say, 30 to 60 watts, I'm here to tell y'all, the Goliath version 2 is a kick-ass tank. Is the flavor as good as the other two? No. It's not going to be, it can't produce the amount of flavor that they can. But I'm going to tell you what, where they're 5 stars, this is a solid 4. This is a really good, flavorful tank. It makes really good flavor. Doesn't have the airflow that most people are going to want, but it does have the flavor. I did use it. It wasn't my go-to tank because I do prefer straight lung pulls. And again, so, you know, this just isn't going to be my style tank, which is why I'm selling it. I'm going to probably let my big brother pick this one up off of me on the cheap. So if you're looking for a tank that's going to run you around, that'll just be absolutely fantastic around 40 or 50 watts, and you're not really into the deep lung pulls, man, this is a great tank. It really is. It makes great flavor. The coils aren't terribly expensive. Just make sure, again, that you do prime them properly before you put them in. Again, make sure that when you get this tank in, you take the coil out of it, take it completely apart, drop it off and soak it in some good alcohol for a couple hours to get the solvents and bug juice and germs and whatnots and who knows what off of it. Wash it real good with water because you want to make sure it's really clean. That way you get all the shavings, anything else that might be particulate matter and whatnot off of it, and it's nice and clean and sparkly good. And dry it off. Once you dry it off, you're good to go. Again, this is not going to be a cloud chaser. This is not going to be, oh my God, this is an amazing flavor. If you're used to especially if you're used to dripping or using like a Crown or the TF, then yeah, you're going to be underwhelmed by this tank, and I don't recommend it. For those of you who are looking for a good tank that's going to run you around 40, 50 watts, it's going to give you really good flavor and not be a pain in the butt to use. This is a hard tank to beat. It really is. It's not my style. It doesn't have the airflow that I desire, but then again, this is pretty much a different niche. Again, this is for people who are just not looking for that massive airflow. They're not looking to own a massively powered unit. You know, a lot of people just want like a little SIG 50. They just want a little small 50 watt mod and they're happy with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this tank proves it. It's good to go out of the box. You're ready to go. You've got a really good tank that will keep you happy. All right, that's all I have tonight. I'm going to get this posted up right quick. The next up that I'm going to be doing is going to be this tank, the Smoke TF-V4, which I have been running for a while. And hopefully I'm not going to snatch my camera completely off the table here with my clumsiness. The next tank after that will be the UL Crown, which I'm highly pleased with. And the very next one after that, testing should be done. This is the newest tank from the boys and girls at Mutation, who make the Mutation X versions all the way up to version 4 or 5 now, wherever they're at. That's one of the few drippers I actually like, because I am a tanker. This is their new tank. As you can tell, I ordered mine in black with red. You can get this in stainless steel or black, and the grommets or gaskets here come, I believe, in red or blue. Nice tank. All right, that's what you can look forward to in the days ahead. I had a little vacation time this week. I was sick, I had an abscess tooth, and it basically got into my bloodstream, made me sick as hell. So, Uncle JoeJoe's been under the weather for a solid week now. Not been pleasant at all. All I had to eat, my Thanksgiving dinner was noodles, because that's all I could eat. Yay, me! All right, but hey, I'm back. I'm feeling good. Got my room cleaned up, got my guns all oiled and greased and lovely. And other than that, I'm doing awesome. So I hope y'all are having a blessed night. I hope everything's going great for you. I love you all, and I hope y'all have a very blessed night, and things just keep getting better and better and better and better and better. And if you really want to get that better kicked off, grab a Holy Bible and do some solid reading, get to know that man. The man. His name is Jesus. He's an awesome fella. He's the one who got me to kick that old alcohol habit. If it wasn't for him, I'd still be drinking. So all right, y'all have a blessed night. And remember, peas and cornbread.